Alright, hello. Um, I've never made a YouTube video before, but I have been knitting since I was 9. So, I think I know a little bit about what I'm doing. Um, and I wanted to make this video because I want to show people how I cast on, and I'm biased, so I think my way is the easiest. Um, and I was looking through YouTube for other cast on tutorials, and I couldn't find one that does it how I do it. Like, they all seemed really difficult, even to me. So I figured I'd make my own. Um, you're gonna need some knitting needles and some yarn. Uh, you might want scissors. You probably don't need scissors yet. But, I'm gonna show you how to cast on, and then also show you how to do like a basic knit stitch. Which then becomes like the garter stitch, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Also, I'm using circular needles just because they're the only needles I have. It doesn't make that big a difference if you have just like the straight needles, but mine are circular. These are also 5mm US 8, but that doesn't mean anything for what we're doing right now. So to start casting on, you're gonna want to get some yarn from your skein and make a slip knot. So I usually take 2 fingers and I kind of hold it and I wrap it around. I make an X and then I hold the bottom with my thumb and my ring finger. And you should be able to see there's like the 2 sides in the back. So I reach my finger through the middle and I grab the leftmost back yarn piece. I pull it through and I make a slip knot. Or however you want to make a slip knot. It's really up to you. That's how I do it. And then I make it smaller, put it on my needle, and tighten it. You don't want it to be too tight, but like just tight enough. And now this is our tail, and you're gonna hold that away from what you're doing. And the rest of the yarn is the working yarn. So this is our first stitch. And then in order to cast on, you take the working yarn, this is my left hand, and I usually make an L with my thumb and index, and I wrap the yarn around my thumb, and I take my index finger, and I kind of put some pressure on the working yarn, and then I hook it, and I just twist my hand. And it makes, and I just twist my hand and see, with my index finger, there's this kind of loop going on. Just put my needle through that and make a loop. Pull it, and now we have 2 stitches. So again, I make this kind of L finger gun shape. I wrap the yarn around my thumb, hook my index finger over part of it, twist my hand, and I make a loop here with my index finger. And I just put it on the needle, and I pull. And now we have 3 stitches. Like I said, I've never made a YouTube video before, so bear with me. And I hope this is actually like informative and helpful. But yeah, you just keep doing that. And you can get kind of quick with it. I've seen a method where you just use your thumb, but I don't know, it seems a lot more difficult than how I do it. And after you cast on, you can actually start knitting. So I think I've got like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Oh, I just want 10. Make it easy. And this isn't long enough to like actually make anything, except maybe, I don't know, a mini scarf. But I'm just showing you now how to do the knit stitch. So you're gonna wanna turn your work just like that. So now all the stitches are in your left hand, and in your right hand you have like a free needle. So to do the knit stitch, you want to take your free needle, put it in the first stitch, and just bring it up like this. And you put the free needle behind the needle with the stitches. Like that. And now you take your working yarn and you're going to wrap it around the back needle and put it through the middle. Now, you're going to hold this with a decent amount of tension and pull down on this needle and kind of catch the, here, kind of like catch the yarn in the middle and pull up, and now you have a knit stitch. So that might have been unclear. So you're gonna take your working needle, I guess, put it through, oh my gosh, this is not helpful, is it? Put it through the back of the stitch, take your working needle, pull it around through the middle of the two. I want to see if I can't, and like pull it down and catch that yarn and do that. So you're going up, around, down, and then through the stitch that you're working with, if that makes sense. So up, around, down, and through. Now, I will admit, this takes some getting used to. Like I said, I learned how to do this when I was 9, and it wasn't until I was much older that I actually like figured it out for realsies. So go up, around, down, and maybe this is easier. You kind of like catch the yarn. This is, I'm gonna go like that. I'm trying to get all the angles. But once you have the hang of it, it goes, wait, I made this one too tight. Easier. Around and up. And like I said, this is the knit stitch, which is what makes it knitting. And now you're at your last stitch. This one's usually the loosest, and don't worry about it if it's too loose. But now you have, this is the tail. You have the whole row. And you're going to turn it again and do more knit stitches. And when you do only knit stitches, you create what is called the garter stitch. So that will become apparent pretty quickly what it looks like. And again, we're doing the up, get some more yarn, around, down, and through. So let's see if this done. And yeah. Now my grandma said that my knitting style is Russian, and I don't know what that means, but I also haven't necessarily seen it done anywhere else, and since I'm biased, I think it's the best. And in my defense, I've taught at least one other person how to knit this way, so presumably I could teach other people. And even now you can see the pattern kind of appearing. It's just these kind of wavy U's shape. And yeah, this is how you do the knit stitch. So I'll just do one more round. Yeah, I find knitting very meditative, which is why I do it so much. And this is something you don't want to happen. Your working yarn, you don't want it to be in front. That can happen sometimes. See, I got it crossed over. You want this in the back. And yeah. This is casting on and the knit stitch, which creates the garter stitch. Yep. Thanks for sticking around.